and welcome to Live with Abouna. If you've just tuned in, this week we'd promised you a Q&A with Abouna Suriel, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. What that means is we get an episode with the founder and father of CYC, Abouna Bishoy. We encourage you to please send in all of your questions. Either send us a text on 0416 551 292, that's 0416 551 CYC, or write us a note on Twitter at CYC Now, or send us a note on Facebook at Christian Youth Channel. I'm going to start with a question, Abouna, about the fast. I think during Lent, people have a lot of requests from God because they feel like they're sacrificing a fair bit. Do you think we're entitled to do that?
I think the people never stop asking the Lord stuff, even they are not sacrificing anything. And I believe that in the Lent, we need to stop asking more than any other time, because it's the fasting. It's a sacrifice of love, one of the sacrifices of love which we offer to the Lord during the fasting period. And why we are fasting? We have to understand that we are fasting all together at the same time. The church taught us to be because we are all one in Christ. So my right hand cannot be fasting and my left hand not. So as we are all one body in Christ, so we have all together, we have to be fasting. And fasting and prayer is very important, like two wings to take you to heaven. So during that time, you concentrate a lot about how to go to heaven, not asking for material stuff and asking for earthly things. So we have to change our way of thinking, especially in the fasting period, and know that it's very important to concentrate and focus on one thing, how to reach heaven through fasting and prayer.
And I quite like that you said you can't fast with your right hand and not with your left. What about all the people that fast and perhaps say, I'm doing my best, and then make excuses or have different exceptions for themselves throughout the fast?
Actually, nobody can do that. Why? Because our church teaching us that discipleship. So I have my spiritual father, and he is the one who is telling me what is right and what is wrong, and until when I have to fast and what kind of fasting I have to do. So it's not for me to decide, but for my spiritual father to teach me what to do.
Mm-hmm. We've got our first question that's come through. It's from a viewer who says, I am single, childless, and financially unsuccessful. How can I get comfortable with myself and learn to accept what's happened to me in my life?
Single and childless? This is normal. If you are single, it's normal to have no children. Mm-hmm. And single, childless, and what else?
And financially unsuccessful.
Financially unsuccessful. Why you need children? It's, that means your situation is very bad.
Yeah.
So he said, how to accept that? Don't accept that, actually. Mm-hmm. You have to do something to change your life.
Yeah.
It's very good for us to struggle, to put ourselves into the right path. Mm-hmm. Ask yourself why it happened. God give you a talent and you have to use it. So I think you have to do your best and ask yourself, sit with somebody else to take advice, why I'm in this situation. And when you get to the right the right answer, either directly from God into your heart or into your mind, or from your spiritual father or from your guidance, I think you will be okay. At that time, you can get married and have a normal life.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this is a question that the same person might have for themselves. The next question that's come in is, what is our church's viewpoint on adoption with and without marriage? Can someone adopt a child without being married? So what if this single person decides, I don't want to be lonely, I'm going to adopt a child because I can't get it through other means?
Adoption, if it is a couple of they have no kids and they need a kid, it will be a very good thing to adopt a child to help him through his life to be in better situation than orphanage. And adoption is very good, for a healthy house. So if you are in a bad situation like the guy we were talking about, or a girl, I don't know, and you have nothing, why you are gonna adopt a child? To bring him to hell with you, or to do what?
But why would it lead to hell?
Because you have no money, you have your failure in many things, and at the end you get a kid to give him to put him into a bad situation.
But what about, just say, I don't know, people in Africa who are really quite spiritual but financially poor? Do they not have good lives still? Are they without the ability to connect to God?
If there is two parents, yes. If there is parents, yeah. If a man and a woman needs a child, yes. But for single one, how he's gonna care about him, and what a healthy situation he will get the kid into. To think about it, it's psychologically not good. Even a single mother nowadays, they're having a lot of troubles, and I heard many of them that they don't cope with the situation like that. So how come that a guy or a lady will, because she is single and living alone, she wanna get a kid to live with her or with him, without thinking about the other part? The other partner, the boy or the kid. The child himself needs two parents. This is the healthy situation for him.
But what about if you're bringing them up in the church and they've got godly influence and your influence, and you've got financial backing and you can support them and you have enough love to give them?
So if you have all that, why you don't marry? If you have everything and you have enough money, you have enough love, you have your situation is perfect, why you didn't get married? This is one of the things which show that you are everything with you is okay. Some people, they disagree to get married and they don't like that, but we can see them, they live for God or for service or for a cause.
And so perhaps maybe they can use that love and go and serve in an orphanage, or go and
and instead of one kid, they will have many kids.
Okay. And do you believe that everyone has a companion? Because you've said, why don't they get married? But that's not always in somebody's hands. So
that's true.
Yeah. Do you believe that God's created somebody for everybody?
I believe so. And I hear that the population of the whole global is male and female until today, half and a half. Of course, some of them are many males, like China, as I heard, and India or so, but others are less male and more females. But until today, God created man and woman together. But if those who are not get married, I don't want to say they're more happy than anybody else, because I am not married, but I feel that I got married to God Himself. This first. Second, I've seen many people, those not didn't get married, but they are very, very happy with their service, with their life, and they're okay. And there is two things you have to differentiate between. One, God not permit them to get married, and they surrendered and they put all their life into his hand and they said, God, whatever you want to do with me, I agree. This one, he will be happy even if he's not married. And this is normal. Somebody else that he put himself or herself into that situation. Sometimes, no, I don't want to marry him. He's fat. He's bald. His nose is very big. So they kept like picky people, and at the end they don't get married, either boys or girls. I've seen many young men even. They said, no, she is a little bit fat. She can be slim. You just marry her if her personality is perfect. Why you're looking to that? So the people sometimes they put themselves into this situation.
But do you think people should settle for something that they're unhappy with? Because how can you give love to somebody if you're not satisfied with what's in front of you?
I mean, satisfaction, it's more spiritual than physical. So most of the people, I'm sorry to say, they're thinking about physical stuff, but not, you know, you can find some people are very fantastic in their personality, but the people, they don't see that. They look to something else, physical stuff, which it is not good. As spiritual people, we have to pray, to think about this girl is from God or not, and about the shape or slim or fat, or it doesn't matter at all. And you can, for sure, you know now that every day hundreds of advertisement about a very big fat lady, she became very slim, and it's nonsense now. I mean, we can't think about that at all. Just only personality, it's the most important thing, and the spirituality too.
Well, that leads us on to our next question, which is about spirituality. Somebody's written in to say, do you know who the authors are of the Agbeya?
Of course.
Completely off course, but still on track with spirituality.
The Agbeya written by the Psalm, from the Psalms, and the Psalms written from by the hand of David, the prophet, and others also were with him, but all belonged to David the prophet and the king. And the parts which it is added at the end of each prayer, it's since a long time ago, the church itself, they put it as a prayer, and you find it's fantastic. And even they picked some psalms which it is really it's during the day time, it's related to each part of the day. So,
and do we know which period, like when?
No, actually, when I went, even in the manuscripts, I came back to the manuscripts up to 7th century. I found the Agbeya there. So I think it's before that.
Amazing. Just a reminder to please send in your questions to 0416 551 CYC. That number again, 0416 551 292. Right now we're going to go to a break and we'll come back and answer your questions shortly.
Daniel is a faithful man, that he kept his focus on God.
I remember and I learned from Daniel that God is the source of all wisdom and power. Historical chapters where we read about what's happened in the life of Daniel and his friends as they were in exile.
And because of Daniel's obedient and submissive heart, God took him and made him better.
The dream that the king had, and no one was able to tell what the dream meant and the meaning of the dream except Daniel. This is his promise. If we are faithful to him, he will be faithful to us as well.
Bible study on the book of Daniel in Hosanna. Hosanna. New York Times, Saturday, 8:05 p.m. Rerun Wednesday 8:05 p.m. Sydney time Sunday 8:05 p.m. Rerun Thursday 8:05 p.m. Can you be Christian and involved in science? How does God reveal himself to people through his creation and nature?
Let there be light.
The things that keep us alive are mentioned specifically.
If you are interested in creation issues, the early life, and the evolution theory,
We have a planet that appears to have been made just for us.
you will find your questions answers in this Creation and Evolution show. Watch it soon on CYC. Creation and Evolution show. New York time, Friday, 6 p.m. Rerun, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Sydney time, Saturday, 6 p.m. Rerun, Wednesday, 6 p.m.
CYC, Christian Youth Channel.
Hello and welcome back to Live with Abouna. Just a reminder, please send us your questions to 0416 551 292. That's 0416 551 CYC, or pop onto Twitter. The handle is @CYC Now, or go onto Facebook and send us a post at Christian Youth Channel. If you've just tuned in, we were supposed to interview Abouna Suriel this week. He's sent us his apologies and he will be back in another week. And for now, we're chatting to the lovely Abouna Bishoy. And we'll get back into our questions right away. The next question is, how do we respond when people say they drink alcohol but do not get drunk, or they drink in small quantities? What's the church's stance on that?
Actually, the church disagree completely about drinking. And not the church, the Bible itself. Mm-hmm. Because I always asking myself why I do that, anything, why I do that. So if we go to the Bible and see 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23, written that all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify. So if we think about that, not all things are helpful. Tell me, if the one who was asking the question, if you drink, what you gain out of it? Why you drink alcohol? So you might say it's culture, Abouna, it's just culture. Culture, if we go to that side, it's very dangerous, because sex is culture. Mm-hmm. And most of the sins are culture. So because it's culture, we go to it? No. We have to think why I'm doing that and what is the benefit. I'm not benefiting anything if I drink wine or whiskey or whatever, because it will, even a little, that means I have no control over myself. Mm-hmm. If I have control over myself, I say no. It's very simple. And why don't say no? Why say yes? And it is like smoking, like anything else. Mm-hmm. So I have the right to say yes or no. And if I have the right, I will think it's not helpful. Just even little quantities or whatever, it's not helpful.
What about like health studies, perhaps, that say, 1 glass of wine or something a day is good for your heart? And what if people are doing it for that reason?
I think this, you can say anything for health. Mm-hmm. I mean, but is it the only thing can help my health?
Yep.
And a lot of people, millions of people around the world, they don't drink at all. And they are still healthy, very healthy. More those who are drinking.
Good argument.
Right?
Yeah, right. Well, the next question is, why doesn't the Coptic Church practice Ash Wednesday? And is it wrong for us to go to another church and have ashes put on my head for the practice?
I think Ashes Wednesday, it's a Catholic
Yep.
tradition, but I don't think it's, I myself, I don't think I need it. And why? What for? I mean, to put ash into my head? I have to put ash into all over my body.
Yeah.
I mean, ashes, it's a kind of to show how...
But what if the symbolism or the practice makes you feel closer to God or more connected to, I guess, to Holy Week? Or you feel more spiritual as a result of this service? Is it wrong to like dabble in both? Because they're both...
Wednesday, what we have in Wednesday and the Holy Week, what we have, Judas story.
Yep.
And the hymns afternoon of the Wednesday, it shows that how we are very cut into hearts because of what Judas did, and we are thinking that how to avoid to be another Judas in the life of Christ.
Yep.
So the church took us to more than ashes. It took us to more very highly spiritual life, and ended with the mass in the morning and Judas going around in the church singing and thinking about him. I don't want to be Judas, my Lord. I want to be one of your disciples, but not Judas himself, the Iscariot. So it's completely, I like that more than anything else. I mean, just to practice something just to put something in your head, or will make you a spiritual?
But maybe it doesn't add to your spirituality, but is it wrong to do for a person? It's not wrong.
Not wrong, of course. We can't say about
There's still
another
like
tradition
an apostolic church.
Yeah, we can't say that at all. But I mean, if you are satisfied with what you have, why you look to others' head? I mean,
but maybe they're not. Maybe it's this single childless person who's decided to go to the Catholic Church.
If he is a single and childless, he can.
Yeah.
I mean, if you find this is good for you, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But I hope that it will be better to focus on your spiritual life, especially during the Passion Week, and how to live from Monday till the resurrection, the pain of Christ, and to be in that pain and to live a life that God, I don't want to give you any pain anymore. I mean, because I feel that every sin we do, it's hurting His love.
Yeah.
So this is all our concern, not to.
So the takeaway message then is just do what is right by God, do what is right, for your conscience.
Yes.
And by your faith, by your religion. So if you're Coptic, do what is Coptic. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. So in keeping with that, the next question is it right to expose my kids to other cultures at a young age? And this person isn't very
What does
clear,
it mean, culture?
So I guess, can you go and practice Indian practices? I don't know what they do. Just to experience maybe the differences in the world. Is that a bad thing?
I believe while they are still young, it's dangerous because they might be affected by other cultures. But
isn't it important to educate your children on difference and to keep them aware?
You can, but not expose them to. I mean, you can explain for them everything around you, and to tell them to be careful of that and that, but not taking them to a temple and say, let's see what the...
Do whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you find a happy medium then? Like of educating them without without giving them a curiosity about that?
Actually,
about
I will
different
tell you
practices?
something very strange, but it happened with us. I can't forget that when we were just only 12 years old or something like that. My spiritual father, he was a very saintly person, and I loved him so much. His name is Abouna. And he brought us, we were just kids, and all of us 10, 11, 12. And he brought all of us together, and he asked somebody smokes a cigarette, and he said to him, light a cigarette. And he gave it to us and say, can you taste this, please? So all of us were coughing, and we hate the smell, and he said, yeah, look how bad it is. And he wrote for us a video to show how the lungs is destroying by the smoking. And he said, if you care about yourself, don't ever smoke in your life.
Yeah.
And actually, all of us, no one of this group tried to smoke or to taste it even another time. So it's very good for you to teach your kids stuff, but not to show them. I'm sure Abouna didn't get us drugs and say you can taste it. No, because he knows that it's very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
But he told us about it and how it is it can destroy our lives and very dangerous for us. So to explain for your kid everything around in the world, it's okay, but to let them go and see and taste everything, no, not at all. It's not good.
And is it perhaps in keeping with that verse that your body is God's temple? So
Yes, that's right.
you know, so you're doing anything, but you've always got to keep in mind that God is in charge of your body, so you don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize that.
Yeah, and also it's as the verse which we've read now. But not all things edify. So we have to take care of that. What is edifying me and what not? So if I teach my children such things, they will be okay. And even they exposed by accidentally, to any other culture, they will understand and they will know what is right and what is wrong to do.
Okay. And on that note of what is right and what is wrong, the next person has written to us saying, should we forgive all the time for people's mistakes?
This Jesus asked us to do that. We have to.
Yeah.
This is forgiveness. It's part of Christianity. It's and actually, I don't believe that you can do it. Especially even if you think about love your enemy.
Yeah.
How come? How come I could
It's
be able?
difficult, yeah.
It's very, very difficult to love your enemy and to love other people even. They're not enemy but doing bad things against me. But you can do that under one circumstances.
Yeah.
Let
With
Jesus
God.
into your heart. So he will fulfill the commandments through you by himself.
Yeah.
So how? Through the Holy Spirit.
And is it okay to forgive without forgetting though?
No.
So I think the forgetting part is the hard part.
Forgive is forget. When Jesus, when he forgave us, he forgave for us everything.
Yeah.
So we have to, forgiveness means forgetting. Even it comes to our mind again, I say, no, I forgave. I don't want to remember that at all.
Yeah.
So I have to struggle until I forgive. But I will tell you something very important.
Yeah.
So when your heart filled with love Jesus, I believe you will easy forget. Believe me, you will forget completely. You might remember, I have a problem with you a long time ago, but what is the problem? I can't remember, because love makes you forget completely.
Okay. The next question, I guess, kind of goes back to the previous discussion on experiencing other cultures. The question is, what is your opinion on the Illuminati? Because, big celebrities like Beyonce, are into it, and a lot of Coptic girls went to her concert. So are we allowed to I guess, experience those kind of things? Are we allowed to go to concerts? Are we allowed to support people who don't support Christ?
Of course not, because you have to be careful. You are sorry. No one can play with the devil and win. It's very difficult. So Illuminati or Masonic or stuff like that, all of them, they are devil worshipper.
Yeah.
And they are the union of a devil worshipper. And most of those celebrities, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them or most of them, they go under Illuminati umbrella because they tell them, sell your soul to the devil and will make you very, very famous. And they did. And I've seen some on the internet,
Like documentaries.
some of documentaries and interviews actually. It was like Lady Gaga or something like that. And she said, what is the problem if I sell my soul to the devil? So if somebody belongs to the devil, how come I go to her concert and attend that? That means the devil is there. And how come that I take our Christ in me to such places? It's not good at all. So, and if you study stuff about Illuminati and Masonic, it will go back very, very, very old, like in the time of Nimrod and the Old Testament. And his wife Semiramis, and she was the beginner or the establisher of all this stuff. And since then, until today, it is the same things. Reading the cups, reading the palm, the hand palm, telling some like witches and stuff like that. Since she started that, and you find in the Bible that the sons of God and the sons of a world or people, the division was very clear. Those who belongs to God and those who belongs to devil. So we can't now generalize stuff and normalize it stuff and say it's nothing, it's just going. What if the Antichrist appear? Are we gonna say the same? It's nothing. He's a cute guy. That's all, and we go after him. And no, we have to be careful.
Okay, so I guess some very good takeaway messages for today are, definitely educate yourself on what is different, but don't dabble in it. Do whatever is godly and that edifies you and brings you closer.
That's right.
And what else? How else would you sum up today?
Be in God. If you are in God, I believe that God can easily teach you what is right and what is wrong. And if you are really belongs to Him, He will either through your spiritual father or the church teaching or the Bible or by Himself, He will give you lessons and teach you what is right and what is wrong. The most important thing that to be sensitive to God's voice, because most of the time we are busy and we don't have time to listen to Him at all. We can listen to our friends, we can listen to many things around us in the world, but we don't listen to God. And God, with His mercy, sometimes He talks to you gently, and if you don't listen, just give you a hard time more and more until you listen. So
that's a good lesson for us as well, I guess. So keep your ears tuned, to God's message this Lent, and focus on your spirituality above all else. I'm going to say thank you for joining us today, Abouna. And if you guys can please continue to send in your questions to 0416 551 292. That's 0416 551 292. Or hop onto Twitter at CYC Now, or write us a Facebook post at Christian Youth Channel. We're always open to discussing anything, and as you can see from today's chat, Abouna is very knowledgeable and can touch on almost anything. So be fearless and write in. Thanks for watching.
CYC Christian Youth Channel.